questions for you here. Let's run through them.
All right.
So question one, in your opinion, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the program there?
So the phys ed program here, I think the fact that we have kind of a mix of, we have some younger staff members, and I've been here quite a while, but we have some younger PE teachers, and I think the mix is good. What they've allowed us to do is, kind of see what the new theory is out there for phys ed and kind of incorporate technology and those types of things a little bit better than we have been doing in the past. So I think the fact that we have kind of a good mix of staff with it has really helped. In addition to that, we have a lot more space this year due to our, building proposition. So it's allowed us to do some things we haven't been able to do in the past.
Yeah. Good. And what about the weaknesses?
I think, kind of speaking from myself here, in the past, technology's been a bit of an issue as far as incorporating it in our classroom. I do think, strangely enough, that COVID has helped in the sense that I've kind of been forced to use technology more than I've had to in the past. As far as Google Meets and different things we've done with our curriculum for the kids. For example, kids that are virtual now, if we're in a pickleball unit for let's say. I would be putting that up on our page as far as the rules for that, a quiz at the end of it. In the past, we've struggled to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a weakness, and I think that's something that we've been able to get a little bit better at.
Well, that's good. As far as your grading policy goes, how does yours personally go for your phys ed classes?
So we break it down into 5 different areas as far as participation in the actual exercise portion of the lesson. If they're prepared, now we've added that the knowledge piece to it. We've added in what their skill work looks like before the actual game, and then we put it as a 5th. How they do in the actual whatever unit we're doing in that game to kind of bring towards the end of the lesson. And it goes pretty well, I think, for the most part. The kids are used to that now, and they know where they stand with that. Again, the part that we've struggled evaluating in the past has been the knowledge piece. And I think the fact that we're using technology a little bit better than we have in the past has allowed us to do better with that.
All right. For the school district, do you have a specific curriculum that you use?
We do. We have a curriculum that we share with students and we share with the parents. Usually it's not only on our page, but we'll do that at our open houses in the beginning of the year.
Yeah. All right. Is that like more directed towards like fitness or activities, or how do you go about that?
It's a little bit of both. We'll go through I guess you'd call them more traditional sport units, and then we do a lot of units that are a little bit less traditional, I guess you'd say. Such as cross country skiing, and we put in some orienteering and stuff. But as a whole, the fitness portion comes in when we test the kids at the beginning and the end of the year. And, it's not so much, we use the fitness gram. It's not so much to say, hey, your mile time's not where it needs to be type thing. It's more of, this is what you had in the fall, and this is where you're at in the spring. Are we showing some improvement? So that's kind of the fitness portion of that. And, they get an opportunity to our goals and that we put in, to our administration. We put in there that every day we try to do something in the class that incorporates that type of fitness in there, so they have an opportunity to improve in class. And obviously we encourage it on their own too, but yeah, that's a little bit tougher.
Yeah. So the next question I got for you is, does the school use new Shape America National Standards and Outcome?
No, we do not.
No, and why not?
I guess we're not as familiar with it. I guess that'd be the main reason.
Okay. And well, COVID included, but prior to COVID, did the program use technology?
Yeah, we did. I guess I guess the biggest difference would be is, we would use it in class, and then if we had a student that happened to be on a medical, or something along those lines, we would use it for them. But I think the main difference is instead of having everybody and go through a knowledge piece and have them sitting on the floor of a gym, which isn't ideal, and go
Yeah.
through rules and whatnot. We just have made it a little bit more accessible to them, to use the page, and so now everybody's kind of using this, which I think has helped. I
Yeah.
see it progressing more in the future, and we've looked at some different boards through PE conferences that we might be able to use in the classroom. We had talked about, I can't think of the name of it now. It's a type of smart board.
Okay.
But we've looked at some different things like that, but they're not cheap, so we're still
Yeah.
looking.
Um, how do you manage your classroom and maintain discipline in the classroom?
Well, I've seen a shift in the amount of years I've been teaching. Not only from kind of the way that I set it up, kind of the way of what's wanted in the classroom now, as far as your evaluations from your administrators. You know, I always have thought that if the students are used to a certain scenario when they walk in the gym, that's a lot of it. So we try to incorporate that right in the beginning, where they know what their scheduled routine is when they enter the gym.
Hmm.
We've tried to, over the years, make it a little bit more, the instruction a little bit more student focused, instead of me up there just spouting everything off, and they're kind of listening to us and sitting there, or just going through the motions. So we try to incorporate it so they're coming up with ideas, and they're helping their groups, and they're helping their partners. So I'm kind of more of an observer now than I may have been in the past. I think you can do both. I think you can have discipline in there and allow that. I do
Hmm.
think it's harder at times. You
Yeah.
may have found that, I don't know. But that it can be harder, if you don't have those routines set.
Hmm. Very true. And what do you, or how do you provide for students with disabilities in your class? Do you have a special? Uh,
Yeah, so I guess kind of, that's kind of a big gamut, as far as, we have kids with learning disabilities type thing.
yeah.
And if any kind of knowledge piece, we involve our resource teachers and our special ed teachers with that. If it's a more of a physical disability, we kind of try to differentiate what we're doing with the different units. I mean, it depends what we're doing, with the ease of that, but we're always able to find something. I've been, in the last couple of years, I've been given a lot of different classes where it wasn't as much of an issue, but I have had classes where it is an issue, and we just try to change the instruction a little bit, and make it so they're successful as far as that goes. It's been pretty easy to do. It's just a matter of, again, planning it out and trying to make sure that you have lessons and different activities for them that are easy enough for them to do, and they could be successful at. That's such a wide scope, though. It could be
Yeah.
so many different things.
All right. And what advice would you give a new teacher just starting in their first year?
Well, I guess kind of goes back to what we were talking about. I mean, you have to. It's so much easier. I find this both in teaching and coaching. It's so much easier to, um, be firm when you first start, and if you think that it's, a little bit over the top, you can always ease up. But I think people have a tough time when, they want to be the students' friends too much, and they don't have a good enough structure in their classroom. I think it's tough to go back to that if you started up that way. So
Yeah.
between that and organization is huge. You have to make sure that you are set to go and you're prepared. I think the biggest difference in phys ed is that, as compared to other classroom teachers, is things change for us a lot. You may have a perfect lesson plan, and you may get in the gym, and the custodians might be working on something in the gym, and now you have a half of a gym, the students may not be dressed appropriately due to an activity that's going on in school. There's just so many different things that happen. Weather has such an impact for us.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to, roll with the changes as far as that goes. If you can't, it's going to make your job a lot tougher. So I think to be organized is important, but you have to have a backup plan all the time also, and be okay with that, right?
Yeah, that's a good answer. Is your school aware of or planning for the implementation of the updated New York State standards?
Yeah, that's one of the things that we've been talking about. We meet quite a bit with our principal with this, and I think we're going to be meeting again in the next couple of weeks to kind of talk about some different ways of how we can change things moving forward. So yeah, it's helpful that our principal's an old PE teacher, so that helps. So he's very interested in making sure we're doing what we can.
And then I just have one final question for you here, and that is, who or what player was your favorite to coach in soccer?
Normally these types of questions are hard, but this one's a fairly easy one. Brandon Garrett was his name.
Really?
Yeah, he was. He's something. He's something. That's all I can say.
I just wanted to make sure I had that on the record. I'm never getting rid of this video now.
There you go. Please don't play it to anybody else.
I wouldn't dream of it. But I do thank you. That is all the questions that I have for you. And I appreciate all the time and answers that you gave me.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Bye.